Ho, ho, ho. Christmas is coming. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is my weekly vlog for Monday, December 3rd, 2018, and this is vlog number 96, only 4 away from 100. Should probably do something special for the 100th one. I'll think about it. Okay, so let's get right into it. What have I been working on? Well, I've been working on my quilt, modern quilt, and my Sydney bag. Now, the Sydney bag, I'm still not going to show it to you yet. It's in pieces at the moment. There are 2 classes left. I'm trying to get comfortable here on this stool, and it's not that comfortable. Oh yeah, and I'm detoxing. I'm drinking water. Well, I'm not really detoxing, but lately I've been having a little bit of heartburn. I think I've been drinking too much coffee. Oh, there goes one of my friendly little orbs. Just went by. Okay, those are my little guardian angels. That's what I'm going to call them. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So, I don't think I've been drinking enough water. So I'm laying back on the coffee a little bit because I think that might be giving me the heartburn. And I'm going to try and drink a minimum of 8 glasses this size of water in a day. Now, I've already had 1, and now I want to have 1 more. Also, my skin's been feeling a little dried out, and I have read that, you know, that's a sign of dehydration. So, bottoms up. We'll see how long this lasts. Okay, so I was talking about the modern quilt and the Sydney bag. Okay, Sydney bag can't show in pieces. Enough said about that. Except that this class has been a bit of a challenge, but that's why I took it, because I want to learn how to do all these fancy things. Walter calls it my purse. It's a satchel. Whatever. The modern quilt, well, it's a little funny story on it. I got the quilt top pretty much done in class. We only have 1 more class. The last one is this week. And yeah, I should be working on getting the layering done and, you know, start the quilting process. Except I was looking at the quilt when I had it laid out the other day. And I added a couple of borders to the sides of it. It's long and it's narrow. Uncommonly so. In fact, I measured it. It was 91 inches long by 48 inches wide. That's skinny. It's supposed to be a throw. So I got looking in the pattern directions again, and yeah, okay. In the excitement, my instructor, she's very enthusiastic, very, very helpful, possibly too helpful. She's laying it out on the table as I'm doing the blocks. And she's basically deciding where the colors should go and whatnot. Now, this is an abstract quilt. There really isn't any rhyme or reason to the colors, except they all come from the same designer, K Facet, and I love his prints. They're bold, they're wild, and this is what I wanted. This is called a modern quilt, and that's what I wanted. And it does look good. But she's handing me the blocks to sew together. She's being helpful, okay? Except neither one of us thought about the fact that we were sewing it so we have 5 blocks across and 7 blocks down. And that's the reason why it's too long. It should be the other way around. 7 across, 5 down. So I thought, how am I going to fix this? I didn't really want to rip out blocks or make more blocks or whatever. So I thought, well, if I just add some borders, but no, that's not going to work. I started looking at that, and it's the main design would get lost in all the borders. So I have decided I'm going to remove, I am going to rip out, I'm going to remove the bottom 2 rows of blocks. This will now and then remove the border at the bottom, put that border back on in the new position. Leave the 2 side borders that I've put on, and I'm going to do another 3rd border that'll go all the way around it. And by having it as a 5x5 block and with these borders, it will be a square quilt, but it will be more the size of a throw. That should fix it. I'm not looking forward to ripping out blocks. However, I do have an electric seam ripper and it shouldn't be that difficult to do it. So when I get that part of it done, I may show the quilt top at that point in time. But I want to get that done, and I want to get that done sort of today. I also finished my Christmas socks for our great nieces. And here they are. And you saw them in the teaser. And I'm really proud of these. These turned out great. I was so proud of them. I took them to show off at my last embroidery class because this is all done as something called in the hoop design. Basically, you lay your material down and the machine does the seaming and the whole bit. These are pieces put together. You actually make each sock into four separate pieces, and then the machine sews them together when you line them up. And so it turned out really well. That's for the top of it. It also does some quilting. Each one of these little patches has quilting design in it, again done by the machine in the pattern I had. And all I had to do was add the backing fabric and the lining. They are lined inside, and that was pretty easy to do. And then I added one of these freestanding lace angels, also done on my embroidery machine, and I put the Santa applique on the front. And again, same method as the sock, except less pieces, and it makes the applique. And I didn't even sew this on. I fused it using Ultra Bond, what do they call that? Heat and Bond, Ultra Hold. And yeah, I'm really pleased with the two socks. So we'll fill those up with maybe some candy and some little toys or something for our great nieces, and give that to them on Christmas Day. If they're here, or we'll go over there, whatever. So that I was working on, and also on Saturday's embroidery class, this is supposed to be a cuff piece for a pillow slip, like a regular bed pillow. I didn't get this design done. These took a long time to stitch. There were a lot of color changes, but I thought they were really cute. But I don't need a bed pillow. But what I think I'll do is I'll alter the pattern so that this will, along with some other Christmassy material that I have, this was a kit kind of a thing, I'm going to put it together to make it into more of a decorative cushion, you know, for a chair, and take it to my mother and put it on the chair that we took over to the nursing home last week. It's in her room. More about that in a minute. So that'll just decorate up her room. So let's see. So that's all I've been working on this week. Have some other things to share with you though. Had my art journaling class yesterday. And of course, you know that my ladies, they like to do ATCs, artist trading cards, and trade them. And I don't participate in that because, to be honest, I don't have the patience to make ATCs. But these ladies do, and they usually give me one. So everybody in the class gave me one yesterday, and I told them that I would be featuring them on the first part of my vlog. So here they are. So this is one of my regulars. This is Gina. Gina does a really nice job. Hers is in a little plastic case because you can buy these little plastic cases that are just the right size. And people collect these. And they put them in binders, you know, to show off. I keep them on a little bulletin board over here, which is out of shot. And maybe one day I'll show you what's on that bulletin board. But I have quite a few of them now. And I don't like to hide them away in a book because, you know, quite honestly, will I ever go to that book to check them out? Probably not. But if they're there in full view, they serve as decor and they also serve as inspiration. So this one is done by Anne. Oops, get the glare off it. Very lovely. It was a Christmas theme, as you can tell. This is by Joanne. And Joanne also did a demo yesterday on how to marbleize paper using the shaving cream and food coloring method, which was, I've done that before, but some of the ladies had never seen that before and they were fascinated by it. And Joanne did a really good job of showing people how to use it and variations on it. But she also organizes the ATC cards as well. This one's by Darla. And this one's got a little, like a shaker box kind of thing in the bottom of it. And I thought that was a really cute idea. And this is by Carolyn. Again, very nice. This Carolyn did a landscape mode. You don't have to do them all in portrait mode. You can do them in landscape mode as well. And this one's also by, just find it here. Yeah. This is Anne's, and this is another one by Anne as well. And Pat did this one. Very nice. And Kristen. Now these are like enamel dots. I'm really not sure what she used. If she used glossy accents or, well, they got little faces in them. I think that's from the stamps. But yeah, it's nice to feel it. It's raised. But very nice as well. And Kristen also made everybody a card. And I think I believe she said she got this foil-like paper at Michael's. And if you look at it, it's kind of distressed. It's trying to keep the glare off it. Kind of cool. Kristen makes beautiful cards. She has one she was working on that's for me for Christmas. And she told me I couldn't look, because she was hoping she'd have it done by the end of the class, but she was not able to do so. So she's sending it in the mail, says I should have it by Friday. So I tried not to peek. Okay, some more water. Okay, so that was our art journaling class on Sunday. And the ladies have decided that we would like to do a canvas. We might do it as a reverse canvas, or what I call a shadow box canvas. And so that's what's happening up in January with them. They're a great group. They love to experiment. They're very supportive of each other. And it's just a really nice time. In fact, yesterday before I went, with everything that's been going on lately, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed. I still feel a little overwhelmed. Maybe talk about that a little later. But I wasn't really in the mood to teach this class, but it was already planned, and so of course we had to go through with it. But you know, that's the amazing thing about it. Once I got there and started working along with the ladies on a project myself, I kind of got immersed in it, in the creativity, and it just helped lift my spirits, made me feel a little better. So art can do that for you. Okay, so now speaking of things that'll lift your spirits, and that are kind of bizarrely funny, this week's YouTube channel is done by a drag queen. This drag queen's name is Willam Belli, and he or she, depending on what you want to call a drag queen, does something called a beatdown, where basically she pulls up videos she's found on YouTube and cuts them up. And she's not nice about it. It's very sarcastic in the whole bit. It's cruel. It is kind of cruel, but that's where the humor lies. So it's kind of dark humor. But anyways, I thought I'd put the link down below and do a little review about it. This week's YouTube channel of the week is one by Willam Belli. Willam Belli is a drag queen, and this is a little bit of an unusual YouTube channel for me to review, because usually my YouTube channel reviews deal with home decor, DIYs, crafting, quilting, etc. This one is just pure entertainment. It's funny, especially Willam's playlist called Willam's Beatdown. This is where he cuts up various YouTube channels that he has come across in the past week or so. It's very sarcastic. It is funny. It is a little bit on the naughty side, so this is not PG rated at all. So if you're offended by bad language or by sexually, it's not explicit, but you know, sexual content, then this may not be the site for you. But if you're looking for something completely different, completely off the wall, then why not give this one a try? So the link for Willam Belli is below, as is the link for Stephen and Walter Live. We had problems again this week. I'm going to come to that in a few minutes, so just hang in there. And the book of the week that we'll talk about very shortly is also listed in the links below. So what's pissing me off this week? Well, this relates to Stephen and Walter Live. I don't know if it's the third or the fourth week in a row where we get about 40 minutes into our broadcast and then the visuals freeze. People can still hear us, I can still see their comments, but our video part, the visual, just freezes. And it doesn't want to unfreeze, and I don't know what's going on. I tried to reset during the broadcast yesterday, and that has worked in the past. It worked last week, but this week, for some reason, when it came back to the rebroadcast, we were still frozen. So that's why if you are watching the rebroadcast of Stephen and Walter this week, you're going to find it's only partially there. I did have a second part, even though it was frozen, but at least you could still hear us talking, and then I was playing around and somehow I deleted the second part. Sorry about that. I am very frustrated right now with the technology. Have no idea why this is doing it. We have searched the internet, and I don't know, maybe Walter found out something last night after I went to bed, because he loves to do research about these things, on how to fix this problem. At first, I thought it might have been a problem at our end. I'm thinking now what the problem is a combination between the iPad technology and YouTube technology. Now, when I do my videos, like the one I'm doing right now, it's all done through my iPad. Reason being is I find that the iPad actually does a better job than the software I have on my computer for making videos. And that's what we're using for the live. And, you know, for a long time it's worked fine, no problem. But lately this has happened. Now, I think what it might be is a combination of the fact that we just had an upgrade on the operating system for the iPad, which is, you know, Apple puts these out all the time, and it is not unusual for when Apple does an upgrade to something that was working before doesn't work anymore. But YouTube is constantly doing things to their algorithms and programming and the whole bit. So I'm wondering if it's a combination of these two things that's causing the problem. Now, as I said, we've searched the internet, and the only thing we've been able to come up with so far is people say, oh, well, drop down your video size from, you know, from HD down to like 360p or something like that. I can't figure out how to do that. Not when you are the broadcaster. If you are the viewer, there is a little box where you can adjust the quality of what you're seeing. But that does not come up anywhere that I see at my end, especially on the iPad. The iPad does not have all of the features that it does on a computer when you're using your standalone computer with YouTube. I watched a couple of videos last night about live streaming and settings and that, and right now the thing is, the only way I think I can get around this is I may have to actually use one of my laptops to do the broadcast instead of my iPad. The problem is you have to have a third-party program like something called OBS or Wirecast to coordinate with YouTube's settings in order to do this. I think I have OBS on my computer because I downloaded it some time ago, but I couldn't really figure it out. I'm really dreading having to switch from something that worked really well before to a new, basically a different type of technology for this. So I'm hoping we'll come up with another solution. Right now, I don't know what that's going to be. We could limit, it seems to do it within 40 minutes. We could limit the length of our Stephen and Walter lives. We could try to get them in under 40 minutes. But I don't know if I want to do that. We could do that. But, you know, we get discussions going and things going, and I like to go with the flow with everything. So I'm really pissed off that these things are out of my control. YouTube and Apple are both infamous for not telling you what they're doing and never admitting that maybe there's something wrong at their end. They throw it all back at you as if, you know, it's all your fault. Sometimes it corrects itself. Remember how our live videos were in reverse for the longest time? That just happened out of the blue? Well, now they're not. Again, is it because I'm using an Apple product with a Google product and the two are not talking nice to each other when they make changes? I don't know. But it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating from the point of view as a maker. It's very frustrating from the point of view of you as a audience. So we're working on the problem, and hopefully we'll find a solution, a workaround this or whatever. And we'll go from there. So just bear with us, okay? If you're a regular viewer of Stephen and Walter Live, then I'm sorry that this is happening, but I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. And if any of you have a suggestion beyond the one about dropping the resolution, because I don't think that's a fix, I'm all ears. You know, there's got to be people out there that know more about this than I do. In fact, I'm sure there are. So anyways, that's what's pissing me off this week. Okay, moving on. Product review. Do I have anything to review? Not really. I did buy a new little tool the other day from Ultimate Sewing. I bought a sharpener for my rotary cutter. That puts me up to 3 now. This one's more of a conditioner, and I may do a special idiot quilter if I get some time around, because there's several things I want to show in that. So that's why I'm not going to really show it on here. I'm saving it for the idiot quilter. But I haven't bought anything else. No. Well, besides the usual fabric. Okay. All right. Book review. Some more water. I'll drink enough water, I'll be floating out of my chair. Okay, so this week's book is, again, another one about paper folding. This one's called Paper Folded. It's by Steve and I'm not sure how to say this person's name. It looks like Megumi Biddle. It says over 40 exquisite paper folding projects. And just before I open it up, I have some things in here I must have been trying at one time. Oops. Okay. Oh, this is cool. So you can make things kind of like this. And what did I say on this one? Tea bag folding, page 17. That was kind of really nice. Geez, that'd make great Christmas cards. And this is another one, folded a little different. Again, sorry about the glare. Just get that around there. So yeah, they're very pretty. So those came out of this book. Those are a couple of designs from this book. And why do I open it to a blank page? All right, so they talk about what equipment you need and procedures. That's a page I marked. It must have been something I wanted to do. It looks like it's the one I just showed you. And there's some cute ones of t-shirts and whatnot. Just really neat ideas. Again, it's one of those books I got. It's been sitting on my shelf forever. I used it a little bit, and then I put it away and promptly forgot about it. So, another one that I need to revisit. So that's Paper Folded. Now, cost-wise on this is, just give me a minute here, I'm picking up little pieces that fell out of the book. Okay, on Amazon.ca. Now, when I bought this book, according to the back, it cost me $23.99 Canadian, US $19.99 it says. Went on Amazon. Now, this is one time when you got to know your prices, because Amazon is listing it brand new for $44.69. I wouldn't pay $44.69 for it unless I was really desperate, like I really had to have it. But there's good news. They listed used ones starting at $1.74. So again, a good example of looking at the used books and checking that kind of thing out. Oh, there goes my clock. This is early today. I'm doing this at about 8 o'clock in the morning. Lately, I've been waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, kind of drift off back to sleep for about an hour, and then by 5:30 I'm like wide awake. So I lay there and go, you shouldn't get up, you shouldn't get up. But I end up getting up because I can't turn off my brain. Okay, so as I said, that's a great book for you know, some unique card ideas, and I'm sure you can extend those ideas and those foldings into other things like your scrapbooking pages, your art journal pages, things like that. Okay, so inspiration. Well, I was at the dollar store this past week, and of course I like to pick up a lot of the Christmassy things because, you know, if you're going to do some seasonal decorations or whatever, I don't like to go to a place like Michael's and spend an arm and a leg for things, because let's face it, you put it up for a few weeks for Christmas and then you take it down, you don't see it for another year. And the dollar store actually has some really great Christmas things that you can make into other things. Like last week I showed you the wreaths I made for my mother, all dollar store. Well, I got thinking, you know, they have these boxes usually in the dollar stores, and they've got some Christmas boxes. And I found this one that looks like Santa's belt, okay? And it's split. The cover of the box is attached to the box, but it opens up like this. And I'm thinking, I wonder what I could do with that. So during my art journaling class, I actually created this that I'm going to show you now. And I think it turned out pretty cool. So it's like a little, what do you call it, shadow box, diorama, something like that. But these little pieces are the wings. Now, does it close up? No, it doesn't. Originally, when I started making it, I was thinking I should do that so I could just close it up. Well, that didn't work out so well because I got a little carried away with the 3D embellishments. But this can just sit, you know, on something, and I will. I'll put it out for this Christmas. And how I'm going to store it afterwards, I don't know. I guess I have to buy a big plastic box or something it'll fit into so it doesn't get crushed. But all dollar store items that are in this. And even the little poinsettias, those were just candle rings. I cut them apart. And I did do the back as well. So there you go. So, you know, you can have a little fun making some Christmas decor on a budget. So that's a collage in a box. And speaking of collages in a box, and speaking of the art journaling class, I told you in January we're going to be doing a canvas, and I've told them to collect all their 3D embellishments, and at the dollar store you can get little wood veneer ones and all kinds of things that you can use to create sort of a collage on a canvas. So I just love chipboard, especially chipboard embellishments or little veneer embellishments, that kind of thing. You know, I really should have turned off my speakers on my computer, and I forgot to when I started this video. So sorry about my email going off all the time. Anyways, so I thought what's in my drawers this week are chipboard embellishments. So watch this. So what's in my drawers this week? 3D embellishments and chipboard, in particular chipboard. I collect a lot of pieces of chipboard because I really like using them in something that is like a canvas or a shadow box that adds a lot of dimension and depth to the piece of artwork you're working on. This is an example of what I'm talking about here, and you can see the chipboard in the background, and I've built them up in here. So I thought I would just share with you my collection of chipboard, which I keep in this basket here. So let's just move things out of the way for a second and see what we've got. This is these are chipbook. I mean chipboard words that my local scrapbooking store has started to get in. Excuse me, inhaled the wrong way. This is called iCraft, is the name of the company. They're based in India, actually, and my local scrapbooking store has been buying a lot of interesting things from this particular store. And this is just one example of quite a few different types of wood veneer embellishments that they have, or chipboard embellishments. I have other things here. You've probably seen this kind of thing at your local Michael's or Joann's. These are little butterflies, and they all come in sort of a neutral color. This is a little box that had some hearts and things in it, still does, but they all come in neutral colors, and they can be painted or inked. Michael's, I find, has quite a selection of wood veneer types of elements, like these keys. They're really intended, I think, for people who do different crafts in woodworking. Here's a big bag of different things as well. Some of them come like this, which is kind of interesting. They come on a board. I haven't used these ones yet. They're still in the packaging, but you push them out. Now, what makes these kind of a dual purpose is that once you've pushed them out, you have the negative part left over, and you could use it as a stencil. Of course, I collect, and I also cut my own chipboard using my Cricut Maker. So I cut these butterflies out, and you can see they're quite thick, but the Cricut Maker can actually handle that kind of thing. So you can make your own customized chipboard elements. Here's another company, I think this one's also based in India, that has some backgrounds which I've used on several projects. Again, some more things from Michael's. This is kind of interesting. It's not chipboard, it's very heavy cardstock. I think it's 110-pound weight, but at one point in time I was putting my Cricut Maker through its tests, and I found this image and I cut it out. So this could be used as a stencil or as a background element as well. Mike Deacon, of course, has his own line of laser cuts, as he calls them, and I have ordered quite a few from him over time. This is another set of his that I haven't used yet. But you can see that you can get them in all kinds of shapes and sizes and cuts. Now here's something. A lot of times you go to the bargain bin at Michael's, or you might be at a scrapbooking store that have old albums that were made from chipboard. The pages were actually made from chipboard, and the whole idea of these was that you could put it together and you had what they called a chipboard book, as Michael's refers to it here. Well, you could still do that. You can still make them into an album, or you can use these as elements on a page as well. These are more that I cut out from cereal boxes. These are Santa's sleigh and reindeer. Put that aside. I'm doing a class this weekend where we're doing some Christmas themed things. Of course, there's letters. And here's some more of Mike Deacon's. And more letters. And if you go into a place like Michael's or Walmart, you can often find these in the kids craft section. They have various font styles. So again, it's another element you can add to a scrapbooking page or even a card. This one's actually cut out of balsam wood, and I cut it myself using the Cricut Maker, and I was trying out at the time their new knife blade that they have for it. Is it a knife blade? Yeah, I think that's what they call it, the knife blade. And it does a pretty good job on really thin wood, craft wood. And what else do I have in my box? Of course, you can also colorize them any way you want, and on this particular one I marbleized it with a paper marbleizing kit, but it also worked on the chipboard. Really, the possibilities are endless. Here's some more from Michael's, I think. Little crosses and things. Some more chipboard cuts. I just keep collecting them. There's some more of Mike Deacon's. One that says actually Art Journal on it. Forgot I had that. Of course, I love anything that has gears. They're great as well for the steampunky kind of thing. And they can be very intricate as well, as you can see, like these birds that I picked up. And usually these are fairly inexpensive as well. Oftentimes you can find them in your local dollar store as well. So I have quite a variety. You can see here in my basket, I've still got quite a few things laying in here. And when I see something interesting, here's another one, laser cut wood shapes, $1.19. I picked these up. I think I got these at the dollar store. So really, you don't have to spend a lot to get a lot of embellishments, and these just add a dimensional, textured kind of effect to cards, scrapbooking pages, canvases, art journal pages, whatever you have. So that's what's in my drawers this week. Chipboard. Okay, so moving on. Events in the past week. Well, let's talk about my mother, shall we? When don't we talk about my mother? All right, she had a room change. Again, this is room number 3. All right. If you remember, when she first went in there, she was in the basic level because that's all they had available. I had her on a waiting list for semi-private or private, but for the meantime, she was in a room with 2 other ladies. One of those ladies, severe dementia, a little bit violent, was upsetting my mother. My mother must have complained enough to the nursing staff there, and they did find her another room on the same floor that was also a basic level, had 2 other ladies in it, but they said they were a little bit more quiet, and in she went there. So I phoned up Belle, got her TV and her phone all switched over to that room. They took all her stuff over there. We sort of got it situated around and the whole bit. And she wasn't happy with one of the ladies. One of the ladies in her room has Alzheimer's. Seemed pleasant enough and everything. But my mother said, well, she talks too much. All right, not happy. Well, she only lasted 1 day in that room. I get a call from the administrator at the nursing home saying that a semi-private had come up available. Would my mother want that? And I says, oh yeah, she would. And so they talked to Mom and she said, oh yeah, she would. So they moved her across the hall to this semi-private. And that means there's only 1 other bed in the room. And it was an elderly lady in there. She too had a little touch of dementia. She's 97 years old, this lady, and remarkable. Because we went over to help get her room set up. And of course I had to call Belle again. We're becoming really regular clients with them to move her TV connections and her telephone connection. And we were talking to her roommate a little bit. She was passing in and out of consciousness while we were talking to her. Like, you know, she was sitting in a chair and she's falling asleep. But you're 97, I suppose. But it came towards lunchtime. And you know my mother can't walk. She's in her wheelchair. This elderly lady, nurse comes in, helps her stand up. And she moves over and walks over to her wheelchair and sits down in her wheelchair. Now, she didn't walk very far, but she could get up. She's 97. My mother's 78. What's wrong with this picture? Really? Now, my mother has complained a little bit about this other lady because, you know, she makes noises and things like that. I lost it with my mother on the phone the other day. Because I said to her, so how's your new roommate working out? First mistake I made, asking her about that. And I get this, well, I can't get any sleep. And I went, oh, you know what the word is, insert it in there. What the, now, kind of a thing. And I just lost it on her. And I says, well, nothing seems to please you, Mother. And I just went on from there. And yes, I tore a strip off my mother. I felt really bad about it afterwards. But nothing seems to please her. So we were over there on Tuesday. Her new room is bigger. It isn't as squishy because there's only 2 of them in there. And they're on opposite sides of the room. And there's room to bring some things in for my mother to make it a little bit more homey. Slip of the tongue. This other lady, she's got a chair in there and she's got some Christmas decorations up and whatnot. Mom has Christmas decorations now because I made her some. And so we're this week we're going to go over and take some more pictures that can get hung up on the wall. So it's a nicer environment. I think she'll get used to the lady. I was talking to her last night, to my mother, asked her how she's going. Well, they're trying to get Doris into bed, but she held back. I know she wanted to complain about something, but she remembered when I had the little hissy fit with her, so she wasn't venturing into that, and that's fine. So anyways, it's an ongoing story. It's always going to be an ongoing story. I'm like a broken record with it, and sorry about that. But that's what's eating up a lot of my time these days. And as such, I just find, well, it's just contributing right now. Maybe it's the time of the year. I don't know. But I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I have so many projects on the go. My mother is one of those projects. Like today, after this is over with, oh, there goes a guardian angel. I have to, like, I really got to get into the crawl space and dig out my Christmas decorations and put those up. Bah humbug. Because, you know, I don't enjoy doing that. You would think I would, but I don't. But then on the other hand, you know, I'm going to have people here. My sister's finally confirmed that they'll be coming for Christmas Day for dinner. And I imagine Walter's family will come too. So I'll probably have about 12 people here for dinner. And I'm going to turn off that computer. So, you know, I want to make the house look nice, Christmassy. So I guess I got to get at it, right? So I will. Plus, I'm working on that quilt. Plus, a pillow for my mother. Plus, I still have to finish my Christmas placemats, the whole bit. I'm not supposed to feel overwhelmed. I'm retired. I have all the time in the world. What is this all about? And not only that, but I'm a little worried about my blood pressure. The doctor wanted me to take it every day. I have a blood pressure meter, and I go to see the doctor on the 21st of December again. And this doctor, as I told you before, is very thorough. Okay? Very different from my last doctor. And she suspects that I'm having a little blood pressure problem. Well, I was off this Richter scale this morning. I don't know. My blood pressure has... I don't know if I'm using the damn meter right or not. Walter's got one too. Or maybe this meter, this came from my mother's place. Maybe it's not working right. But my readings are weird. Like this morning, I was something like 151 over 101 or something. I think that means I'm dead. I'm not sure. I do 2 readings. Usually my second reading is more reasonable than the first one. But I don't know, my pulse is like 102. I don't know. Is that normal? I don't know what normal is. I mean, I think I've always had a fast heart rate. But anyways, so this is adding to my feeling overwhelmed and whatnot, because I'm thinking, oh God, I'm a heart attack. I'm just a moment away from a heart attack or something. Never thought about that stuff with my old doctor. This new doctor's had me worried as hell about this kind of stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I got to get a grip. Okay. And I'm sure other people feel overwhelmed this time of the year too, because there's so much going on and so many plans and awful lot of pressure put on us by everybody else. That at Christmas we have to do everything. It has to be perfect. You know, you have to have the right decor, you have to have the right food, you have to have the right party, Christmas cards, all the stuff. It's very overwhelming. No wonder this is the time of year when suicides are on a rise. Yeah, you know, if I have to hear another stupid Christmas song on the radio right now, I just want to shoot myself. Really. But anyways, I'm bitching a little bit here too. Got to get a grip. Get on with things, ton of things to do today, so I'm going to get to those after the vlog. All right, how did I get onto all this from my mother? I don't know. Got my last modern quilt class this week. Yay, because that's going to free up some time for me. It's not that I haven't enjoyed it, I have, but I've learned something. Don't take so many classes at once, because I have 3 classes a week. The quilting class, the bag class, and the embroidery class. The bag class, I think, has 2, this one and 1 more. And the embroidery class, I think, has 2 more classes. So once the 3 of those things are done, I can breathe again. But I only have myself to blame. I signed up for them. I've learned a lot, but that's also contributing to everything else that's going on. So I just keep saying to myself, Florida. Florida is coming. Okay. So I told you last week, sorry, I've got an itch. I've told you last week that I wrote a letter of complaint to the company that makes my dental floss, which is Oral-B, which is a subsidiary of Procter & Gamble, who makes soap, shampoo, dental products, everything like this. And I told them what my problem was with my floss. It's coming out tangled up. I can't fix it. What a waste. Blah, blah, blah. And they did send me back a reply. It was a very nice reply. And they said that they were so sorry that I was having this problem and thanked me for being a loyal customer. And because of that, they were sending me in the mail a $6 coupon, okay, for, I don't know, for generally any other products or just for the floss. And if I had the bill for the floss, if I sent that to them, they'd reimburse me. Well, that was really nice, except for the thing is it was only $11.99 or 98 cents, something like that. I got it at Costco, and it's a 6-pack. And I don't have the bill anymore because who keeps a bill for dental floss, kind of a thing. So anyways, we'll see if we get this coupon, and hopefully I don't have too many more of them all tangle up. In fact, I did have another one that tangled up, but I was able to fix it. It was wasting some of the floss, but I was able to fix it. So we'll see. But anyways, you know, at least the company is doing something about it. You know, they took my complaint seriously and, you know, are doing what they can do. They could have sent me a case of them, but, you know, that might have been pressing my luck. And let's see, what else happened? Oh, so Walter says to me on Saturday before I go off to my embroidery class, what do you want for dinner tonight? And our usual standard reply to each other is, I don't know, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? And it goes back and forth like that for a while. And lately, Walter's been doing a lot of the cooking. I'm not complaining. I like to cook too, but, you know, if someone's going to cook for you. Mind you, we haven't been eating a lot of stuff together at home because our schedules for the things that we're doing. So anyways, I said to him, one of my favorite dishes, of course, is lasagna. I used to make lasagna based on my mother's recipe, which was always very good. And then Walter decided that he'd make it, and he makes it better. I hate to admit it, but he does. His is better. So I said to him, yeah, let's have lasagna. Now, lasagna is a lot of work to make, okay? And when Walter makes lasagna, he makes a couple of pans of it, and we freeze one for, you know, down the road. And he kind of poo-pooed the idea, so that's fine. Like, yeah, it's a lot of work. Anyways, I came home. Yeah, he's making lasagna. It smelled delicious when I walked in the house. So I thought I'd take a little video of Walter making lasagna. So, what's Walter cooking today? Oh, is it Sloppy Joe's? Is it Barfaroni? No, it's lasagna, my favorite food group. I didn't think he was going to make lasagna today. He said, what do you want for dinner? I said, lasagna. So he made lasagna. Just slaving all day.
Just another low-cal meal.
Sure, well, we'll throw up afterwards. Yeah. Just have a little bulimic episode here. We'll look at cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. Like the cheese. Yeah, you only live once. Okay, so here's the finished product, and we've already had a piece each. But look at that, just oozing cheese. It's so good. We're having more. Now, if that didn't make you hungry for lasagna, I don't know what would. But it was delicious. Possibly heart attack on a plate. Let's not go there. Okay, so what's coming up? Well, speaking of food, Tuesday night is my monthly guild meeting, Quilting Guild. And because it's Christmas time, I guess every year they have a potluck. And if your last name is starts with a letter between A and L or something like that, you're supposed to bring something savory. And of course, my name does fall in that part of the alphabet. So I was trying to think what to make. So that's another thing on my list today to make it, because I like to make these a day ahead. I'm going to make something I haven't made in a long time. They were all very popular and trendy back, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. You still see them pop up every now and then, but they have different names. I call them ham and cheese roll-ups, but they're those spirals, okay? You basically have a tortilla shell, and you lay down some cheese, you lay down some ham in it, and I like to throw in a pickle as well. You roll them, so it's and there's cream cheese in it, and I mix the cream cheese with a little bit of mayo, and I add a little bit of Dijon mustard to it as well. You spread that on there, and you put down your cheese, you put down your ham, and do you put cheese on it? No, you don't have to. The cream cheese looks after that. It's been a while since I've made these, and I kind of make them up as I go along. Roll it all up, and then I like to put it in the fridge and let it chill for a while, ideally overnight. And then you take it out and you slice it. And so you have these little spiral sandwiches kind of a thing. And they look nice on a plate. And everybody usually likes them. So that's what I thought I would make. It's easy. It's quick. I can put them on a nice disposable plate for the evening. And that'll be great. So there'd probably be a ton of food because there's a lot of guild people. Like I think their membership's up to 92 now. So if everybody showed up, wow, there's going to be just a food frenzy happening there. So that's on Tuesday night. So that's good. Yeah, so I've got to make those today. And what else is coming up this week? There's lots of things coming up, like the sewing classes and the whole bit like that, other projects, things like that. But as far as a major event is occurring, will occur, the only thing would be RMG Friday, which we're not going to do. If they contact us and ask us to come and do something specific, then we will. But I'm not going to volunteer for it this week because, as you know, getting a little tired of standing there and slapping people's wrists. Don't touch the art. We don't do that anymore. Okay, so that's it. I feel like I'm starting to ramble here. You may feel that I've been rambling since we started this vlog, but whatever. So, Stephen and Walter Live, regular time this Sunday. Heaven only knows what's going to happen with it. We'll see. And yeah, so I hope you have a good week, and I hope you had a good weekend, and have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.